G'day guys, welcome back to another episode of U-Boat on board U-606. Today's date is April 20th, 1944. Round about midnight, just as we leave the port of Bergen here in Norway. And we are on our ways to patrol sectors AC2 to AC5. And we're going to sink 7,000 tons worth of shipping within that enemy zone there. So here's the map. This area, pretty much direct north of Scandinavia, not too far from the island which had the weather station mission on before. And we're not too far away from a few Russian ports, so if we can't find anything within the patrol zone, I think we'll come over to Russia. Slightly, there should be some shipping in around this area, and hopefully we'll pick something up around there. Well, we're about halfway between where we came from and where we want to be, and we've picked up ourselves a contact on the hydrophones. So we're going to grab our little marker here and we'll put a mark down, try and find out where they're heading, and if we have to try and intercept them, then why not? Looks like a pretty good convoy to get involved with. Might be able to pick up our tonnage before we get to our patrol zone. Well, as we can see here, the weather's not ideal for a torpedo solution on the convoy, so I think what we're going to have to do is just follow them for a little bit of time here. You can see here, look, visibility is so low, I can hardly see 100 meters in front of my ship. I need 500 meters at minimum for a torpedo attack, so I think we're just going to have to sit tight, follow the convoy, and hopefully the weather will improve soon and we can start thinking about an attack. Well, here we are. We've been following the convoy for a little while. We'll pull a line through. Visibility has improved quite some, so we'll just get the old angle of direction that they're traveling. So we're looking at a 79 degrees towards the northeast / east. We don't want to be attacking that little thing there that's following them. Neither this one, which is just an Empire. We could easily take that with a deck gun. Same with this NA1. We want to be fishing here for a decent target. Got ourselves a large enemy warship. Another NA1. And what do we got here? This looks like a substantial ship, a Liberty Cargo. That's definitely something that we want to be having a look at. So we'll pull a line here. See how far away we are from everything, and that's over 7k's. We're too far away from that for a torpedo attack, so we'll just check this enemy destroyer. Okay, so this destroyer is definitely going to be our #1 priority. He's the biggest threat so far that I've seen on the convoy, so we'll just have a little look through the catalogue here, try and recognize what it is. And what I'm looking for is one big mast in the middle, followed by one funnel just behind that. It looks like that, so I'm going to recognize that as a Sims class. Now we know that the angle is 79 degrees northeast, and we'll just double check our distance here. Okay, and that looks like just over 7 kilometers. So it's still going a little bit fast. We'll grab our clock here, front of the ship through the crosshair. We'll start the clock, and we'll let the back of the boat come through the crosshair, and we'll stop the clock. And that's telling me it's 8 knots, which seems a little bit too much for a convoy that's just chilling. So we'll just check our distance again. Still quite similar as before. Let me just double check a few things on the map here. So yeah, the reading I'm getting from my actual distance to what the map wants to tell me is two different things, so I do have to work a little bit harder on the solution here. We'll just let the convoy proceed forward a little bit, as well as myself, and still we're just going to double check. I mean, I say double check, triple check, quadruple check. Get the periscope up to full mast here, and we'll check our distance again slightly here, top of the mast. Set that. Still just a little bit too much for us to make an attack, but not 100% sure that I've actually recognized the right ship here, so we just want to check again. So we've got the Sims class, which kind of looks like that. And the back of the ship looks a bit different, so maybe that looks a bit more like it, a river class. So we'll go with that, and if we check our distance again, yeah, that makes it a bit more like it, so we better double check our speed as well there, just to be sure. The back of the boat, through the crosshair, set the clock, that's a lot more like it. There we go, now we've got good advantage here, so we'll load tubes 1, tube 3, tube 2 is not quite ready for a go here, so we'll get those flooded, and they are, and fire away. There we go, we got a good hit there, good hit at the back, good hit at the front. That's why we need to double check, triple check the solutions. We can't just go with what we think we know. I'm pretty glad I rechecked all of that solution, to be honest. I knew they were traveling a little bit too fast. I wasn't quite sure about the ship itself, but 2 torpedoes should send her down to the ground. Yeah, well, this destroyer, she's not sitting too pretty in the water, that's for sure. She looks like she's taking on a fair bit of damage. The damage report there pretty much says that she's going down, so I think it's just a case of watching that happen right now. Looks like we've raised a few alarms since the last attack there on the enemy destroyer. Got what looks to be like an enemy aircraft carrier. Certainly going to be my next primary target. I don't care about these freighters, but here we have an aircraft which is running around, and I mean, we might have the advantage of a sunset on our hands, but either way, I think we're going to have to put all of my attention onto trying to sink this aircraft carrier here. Well, I might have jumped the gun there on the attack towards this aircraft carrier, but we've got a couple of enemy ships here who are dropping some depth charges, and a couple of sailors here who are not feeling too well about it. As you can see here, with outside the ship, we're running pretty close. We're just going to change course. Hopefully we're going to manage to avoid all of it at the very least, and I don't want to have to come back and get sunk, that's for sure. Thought we were making pretty decent progress here. So we've got our radio man, not able to operate the hydrophone as of now. Red light on, probably not the best idea. We need to be blue light really, but we just want to make sure that we get these sailors surviving, and we're going to come back up to the surface if we can survive this onslaught, and then hopefully we can pick up exactly where we left off and pursue the convoy and definitely take down this aircraft carrier as a primary. Well, we managed to survive the onslaught of depth charges, and we're kind of in the middle of the convoy, kind of. There's just this little thing here above us to the north. So we'll jump on the periscope, and I think the best thing we can do is just get rid of whatever it is over here. It's not a enemy freighter, so it is something that's going to cause us a problem. We'll have a look in the periscope here. And the water seems to be rising quicker than I can actually take a look, so I think probably best to get someone on the dip steers here just to help us maintain our depth there. So hopefully that's going to be enough, and we'll just take a look here, and it looks as though it's just a small enemy ship. It's not too much of a threat, but these things carry depth charges, so this is a small flower class ship. It's just a nuisance, to be honest. We know its direction, and the only thing we need to really know, we've had plenty of time to know that they're still going the normal speed of a convoy, and it's just the distance, and we know that their speed is 7 knots, and we'll just chuck one torpedo out. So tube 5 is being flooded, and we'll get that on the go. Hopefully that's enough to take care of it, and then we can get down to the nitty gritty of this enemy aircraft carrier. There we go, one torpedo, more than enough to take care of that little flower class, but she's out of the way. She's not dropping anything back upon us. Now we can maintain the hunt for this enemy aircraft carrier. Well, here we go, we've managed to get rid of that flower class that was to my north, and we are just shadowing the convoy here. We can see that the enemy aircraft carrier is just to my south. It's just south of the ship highlighted in red, but we do have something here to the north. So I can't be complacent here, just have to make sure that all these other ships around the aircraft carrier are not going to come back towards me. The ship up to the north just doesn't seem to really know what it's doing, but I think we're looking pretty good to make a move, get in there, and we'll start working a solution very shortly. Well, it looks to me like the aircraft carrier is running slightly slower than the ships in front of it. They look like they're all in panic mode, and they are trying to get the F out of here, which is good for me because they are not my primary target. I need to focus on taking down this aircraft carrier. Well, here we are, we've got her in our sights here through the periscope, so let's just get a damn good look at her. And she is certainly looking like an aircraft carrier to me from what I can see. It's not that one, it's got to be this one, the Illustrious. I'm pretty sure we've managed to do an Illustrious before in this series, but maybe there's more than one. Just want to double check her course, which we'll use the ruler and the protractor. Grab that, pull it through. Yeah, she hasn't changed course, but the rest of the ships in the convoy have at this stage. So the next two steps is definitely to just get the distance and the speed. I'm pretty sure the speed should be quite average, but can never be too sure on the distance. Top of the mast, I think we need to zoom in here. She's a pretty big boat, so top of the mast to the waterline, that looks about right. And a big specimen like this, definitely worth watching the speed of it. Don't want to cut too much of this from the final edit, so we'll let her pass on through. It's quite a magnificent spectacle to watch through the periscope. She's got quite a few ships or aircraft on board, but they're going to stop the clock there. She's doing 7 knots. Now it's just a case of launching, hopefully at least 2 torpedoes. I think we'll go tube 3, tube 4. Hopefully it's going to be enough. I don't want to have to come back and try and launch one more at her, so we'll fire those away. I must say, for this time period, this ship just looks immaculate. Must be way ahead of its time for what we're dealing with here at this stage of the war. But there we go, got 1 hit with a torpedo, 2 hits. Looks like we've kind of put a hole in the side of it, but no fires on deck just yet. Kind of waiting for that. Never can be sure if you're going to need 1 torpedo, 2, 3. You just never know what's going to happen. But look at damage report there, looks like she's about 70% damaged, so that would suggest to me that she's not going to be a hindrance to us so much anymore. Speed up a bit of time here. See if she's going to take on some water, but She's not looking too pretty. I don't think she's going to be getting involved sending aircraft out anytime soon. Well, she's just hanging out here in the water. She's got the mega lean on. She's a little bit like a gangster, but damage report looks quite well. I think we'll just move in here and maybe try and finish her off with the deck gun. We're potentially too far away from here. I can barely see her in the distance, but we'll launch a few shots just to see what happens. That one was a bit short. Hopefully, can't imagine she's going to take too many more, given her state right now. A few more shots, hopefully, from the deck gun. Then we can get back down and try and chase up the convoy here. Looks like those 2 or 3 shots were just enough for us with the deck gun. Huge fire on deck there, and looks like the back end was just completely fallen away from the boat. We'll follow that down to the ground for sure. What have we got here? Oh yeah, couple of parked boats up in the ocean, but not gonna message the developers about that. It's just a bit of a shame, but yeah, aircraft carrier down. Well, we are back chasing the convoy here, and we have come to the south side of what they were before. But it looks to me like we've got a relatively good ship here, which is going to count quite a bit towards our overall tonnage. It looks to me like a Liberty cargo, which is going to be far more than what we actually need to serve as registered tonnage itself. They are still doing the same course as before, and now that we've got most of the enemy escorts out of the way, she's pretty much a free run. All we need to do is just calculate her speed to make sure of our solution here, and all things should be a go. Yeah, we just need the back of the boat to go through the crosshair here. We'll stop the clock. There's 7 knots, but there's a rather large amount of steam coming out, so hopefully 2 torpedoes should be right. Hopefully the speed reading is correct, and this will register quite a large portion of what we want to achieve here. And bang, there's 1 hit. That's a pretty solid hit. Bit of a fire on board. Hopefully a second hit coming soon, or not at all. Doesn't look like we've got the second torpedo, so that's probably not going to be enough to send her down, unfortunately. I might have to move in here, maybe try and get a little bit of a... It looks like our second torpedo was a miss, unfortunately. Maybe we can come in and try and finish that off with a deck gun, although she does have some deck guns of her own. Hopefully we can just make sure that she's a little bit ill-equipped for such a thing. There you go, she's going down. She's no good. 1 torpedo was just enough. Normally it takes at least 2, maybe 3 to send down a ship like that, but the rest of the convoy is unescorted and unequipped, so I think we can move in here and we can pop up the deck gun and try and get a bit more tonnage. Well, we've been giving this Empire a couple of shots here. Hopefully she's not going to take too much more, but didn't want to show the whole thing because she's going to take quite a few, but there we go, fire on board. So we'll just zoom out, click on her, get a damage report. At least we can see exactly what we're doing here. But she's got a fire on board. It's not quite enough, so a few more shots should hopefully put a big enough hole in her to send her down. Kind of drifting a little bit far away from her. I would like to be side by side from this ship, but there is maybe 3 or 4 more ships that I want to try and take out here with the deck gun. I don't want to have to go too close to one and then zip through too much time to get to the next one. So a couple more shots here. It's a little bit difficult with her sitting quite so low in the water here. So let's just check on her, see how she's doing. Yeah, she's dipping her nose right in, so we want to be aiming for the back of the boat here. Maybe one or two more good shots at the back. That kind of looked like it did enough. She's got a big fire on board. And there we go, we got lifeboats in the water. That should hopefully be enough. It's just going to be a matter of time now to sit here and wait and watch her go down, but there's a couple more ships left in this convoy. We want to catch up with them, and I think it's going to be a little bit more of the same from here on out. Next up, we got this NA1. We've already put a few shots into her at this stage, but a few more. NA1s don't take too much to send down, but a little bit difficult shooting here. We are moving at speed, and weather isn't playing ball with us too nicely, but I think we'll get it done. It's a little bit tricky to get this shot away, but I'm just going to try and time it right. Try and time it with the bounce of the wave. Hopefully just a couple more shots to send her down there. There you go, she's pretty screwed now. On to the next one. It's just another NA1 here. Hopefully we can do something similar as before. I think the front end of the last one fell off. Just 2 or 3 more shots I reckon. Should be enough to hopefully get a good hole in it and get fire on board. Ship sinking, front end's fallen off again. That's perfect. I don't even know what we're shooting at here. She's too far away and she's not really facing the right direction for us. Kind of makes it a little bit more difficult for shooting as well. We'll find out what she is in a second once we get up close to it. Pretty extensive damage on board there. There's a big fire. It's just a case of taking on water. So what are we looking at? This is another NA1. So that's 3 NA1s all dealt with out of that convoy. And hopefully that's the last of it. We'll just check the map in a minute just to make sure we've cleaned up everything. And hopefully we can get back into doing a bit more hunting. Maybe try and find ourselves another convoy at the very least. Looks like there was one boat here trying to get away, so we're going to give chase, and not going to let it get away, but have a look at it, see what it is. It looks like an Empire tower, I think, with the mast in the middle. Here we are, lucky last. Perfect shooting opportunity. I say that just as I miss a shot, an easy shot. A couple of good, nice big targets though, front and back. Shouldn't really miss too many. We've already put a few rounds into it by now, but hopefully not too many more. She'll be down. For now, just got to keep aiming right at the front and the back of the boat there. Plenty to aim at. Just need to try and get a fire started or something on board. Helps to deal a lot more damage than just rounds going in. She's not pretty right now. A couple more. Keep going. There you go. Just waiting for her to take on the water that she needs, but I don't want to wait too much, so I will keep pumping her with rounds. Looks like there's a fire helping us out as well. It's blocking the sun, which is quite good for my shoot. So, just a couple more good holes at the front or the back. Be enough to send her down. Oh, there we go. That's pretty much a whole convoy taken care of. A little bit of torpedo action, a little bit of deck gun, and we still have yet to make our way to the patrol zone, so let's start heading off into that direction right now. Feels like I've been playing for ages and we're only just about coming into the patrol sector. It doesn't happen very often, so we'll send our messages off to BDU, let them know what we've been up to already. So we'll just have a little look at that. There's quite a few messages there. I can see at least sort of 6 or 7 that we've sunk ships, so that's not a bad start. Okay, we're coming to the end of the patrol. We haven't found anything in the sector at this stage, so just going to come down towards these Russian ports, see if we can pick anything up around the area. If not, we'll finish off the patrol as we have to pass back through the zone anyway. Good, we've got a message from BDU. It's been a quiet period up this far north so far, so let's decipher the message, see what it is they've got to say. Yeah, we need to find SS Swavich, or I don't know how to say that. But that's good. Glad they're here to help us out again. Looks like we've got another convoy that we can go and take part with. I've got ourselves into a good position here. The convoy's just coming up. Got our first couple of ships coming through right now, so we'll just stop our boat right on the line and take a look. So we've got an NA1 leading the way. Is that our target? No, it's not. Looks like it, but not quite. But that one is. It's not often the target leads the way of the convoy, which is probably ideal for us at this stage, seeing as we're running quite low of torpedoes already. We'll just work out a solution for the C3 cargo here before we deal with the target ship that we have to deal with. This one here is pretty much the only one in the convoy that is armed at this stage, so we definitely want to take care of it. So we'll just do our solution here. We'll get the time, front of the boat, start that clock, get it going. And back of the boat through the crosshair, stop the clock, 7 knots, pretty standard. It's definitely a 2 torpedo job. Sometimes it's not enough for a C3, sometimes one can be, but don't want to leave her sitting out of the water. We want to make sure we get the job done so we can move in for these NA1s. There's 2 good hits on the boat. No fire as of yet though. Hopefully 2 torpedoes should take care of that. You can see there's quite a few ships in the distance. So once we get the C3 out of the way, we're pretty much on a free run to just surface the boat and take out whatever we want to. At this stage I haven't seen anything heavier than this. Well, she's sitting dead in the water, but she hasn't quite got enough damage to sink at the moment. Just been watching her for a little while, just hoping that she's going to take on that last little bit of water that she needs to go down. And as you can see, it's not really happening for me at the minute, but at least she's out of commission. She shouldn't cause me any problems if I do come to the surface. Oh well, we're just chasing up to the front of the convoy right now where our main priority target is. So we've got the guy, captain here on the gun, and I've got the deckhand, second officer, whatever he is. I've got him on the anti-aircraft gun here. Hopefully he can shoot at the NA1 behind us while I take care of the main target at the front here. But I'm not hearing his gun going yet. There's no big deal, we'll just get it done, work away at this NA1, and then if we have to, we'll turn the gun around and do it ourselves. Either that or we'll just take control of that officer and use the anti-aircraft. We'll just have a little look, see. Well, he is up there, but he's just not doing anything. Oh, well, we've got this NA1 over here we want to be dealing with. Just make sure we've got the right one selected so we can see what we're doing. There we go, good hit. I put a lot of damage on her. Shouldn't be too many more of those. Not very well armoured, these NA1s, and they all seem to be carrying the crucial technology most of the time. But I don't think that's going to be enough to do it, so we'll just get back on that gun, eh? Chuck a few more rounds into her, make sure she goes down nice and quick so we can see what else we can deal with in the convoy. I don't know if we've missed out there. There might be some other escorts in here, something that might come chasing us if we're not quick about this. But yeah, she's looking pretty unhealthy right now. Shouldn't be too long before she goes down. Life rafts are in, car goes out. Beautiful. I'm just having to turn the boat while we deal with this NA1 that's behind. We've managed to shoot quite a few at her already. Oh, there we go. Heavy damage there. The front end's fallen off, that's good. Shouldn't take too much actually. She maybe only took about 5 or 6 rounds and the front end fell off, so I'm quite happy with that. I think we're free to start shooting any other thing we want in this convoy. Well, this Empire's certainly taking quite a few rounds. We managed to slow her down a little bit and put some sort of hole in the side of it. But, just giving chase now, and we're gunning down anything that really is close by until we get an alarm. There we go, we got a good amount of damage there, fire on. But yeah, just going to use the deck gun here until something bigger, substantial, maybe a threat that comes our way. She's being quite stubborn. She's certainly taking a lot more than these NA1s combined. Doesn't help if I miss like that though. A little bit tricky to shoot. She's sitting quite low in the water and we're moving at pace.
Fire on deck.
Well, she went down with a fight, that's for sure, but we got there in the end. Everyone's jumping off ship now, so we can focus our attention to whoever's around us, whatever's next. Running a little bit low of deck gun ammo though, so might need to improvise. Yeah, we've got hardly any deck gun ammo left, so I'm just going to soften this NA1 up with the deck gun, and then I think maybe I'm going to try and jump onto the old anti-aircraft gun, see if we can just send that one down using that, and then if that plan works quite well, then we'll keep using the same method, but otherwise might need to dive the boat down and use torpedoes again. But hopefully we can, if we use high explosive ammo, just start a fire on this NA1. She's already quite heavily damaged, so she doesn't need to take a great deal. Not like we're sitting here trying to turn it into a sieve, just trying to make sure that she takes a little bit more water on and goes down to the bottom without too much of a fuss.
Hüllenbruch, Sie sinken.
Well, my strategy on the last NA1 seemed to work quite well, so there's no point changing a solution that works well for you. A couple of rounds with the deck gun, and I've got a guy here up on the anti-aircraft as well. Just try and start another fire on board like we did with the last one. Seemed to work quite well, so plenty of ships here for the taking as well. But if it isn't broke, don't need to fix it, I suppose. And we are running a bit low on ammo, and I don't really want to drop down and use torpedoes yet. We've still got a long way to travel home, so it'd be best to save those just in case we come across something a bit more substantial.
Feuer an Deck.
There's another NA1 dealt with. Probably not the most routine
Sie sinken.
or most efficient way of taking down enemy ships. Can't imagine there would have been many captains coming back with this strategy, but if it works, it works. Might actually start making this a regular feature of the channel. Why not? Quite enjoying taking ships down this way, but I'm just joking, I'm not going to do that. Well, she's sitting pretty dead in the water, to be honest. This flag is really doing my head in here, making it quite tricky for me to get a good shot away. Although we are just kind of spraying bullets, it's not really that hard. Should be easy enough to get a fire on. There we go. Well, I've been shooting this one for quite some time. She's got a bit more heart than the last one. We do have some deck gun ammo left, it's just that it's in the storage room and it's going to take quite a while to get the weapon reloaded. So I figured we're all up here anyway, might as well just use this. It seems to be working quite well. It does take a little bit of time to do some serious damage, but once you do start getting that damage going, then it happens quite quickly after that.
Feuer an Deck. Sie gehen unter.
The straggler here that we're giving chase to. She's unescorted, whatever it may be, so we are just going to have to speed up, catch up. We are running a little bit low on fuel, but we should still have plenty to make it back to port. So this tanker is what it is that we were chasing. So we've been pumping some rounds away for a little while now, but won't bore you with all of it. Sure, because I've already been shooting at her for a few minutes already. Hardly put a scratch on it. We're just gonna keep firing away here. Should probably just drop down and use a torpedo, but I'm having fun with this weapon here. We were kind of a bit far away before. Got to move up, get right up close to the boat. Make sure we're actually using the bullets efficiently. Getting fairly decent with the weapon itself now. Haven't used it too much in the past throughout the series. Mostly on the mostly under the water, as a U-boat should be. I don't have to come up and gun down aircraft, but it's on the boat, we might as well use it. We've got all the upgrades for it. She is, she should burn herself to a crisp. You can see she's got a lot of holes in the back of the boat there. Oh yeah. Get a fireworks display out of it as well. That's good stuff. Alright, we'll get moving on. Well, we're on our way back, but we've managed to find this leftovers of a convoy. So I'm gonna plot a course to intercept. We do have a couple of torpedoes left in the tank, so we might as well just cause a little bit more damage. See what we're dealing with. We got ourselves a pretty big pretty big warship here, and I don't really want to be dealing with anything like that. And that Empire is probably not really worth it either. So we'll focus our attention to this warship here. We'll start getting a solution to that. Well, here she is. Got her in our sights, so let's get her locked on and go through the recognition book, the task of which I suck at trying to recognize the difference between some of these. It's going to take me a little while. Just need to have a good look at the picture, then have a good look at the boat. That kind of, no, those masts are feeling back through the book, and the mast's kind of going straight up. It kind of looks a little bit like that. I'd say it's more like that, a V class. We'll recognize that. We know the solution already, figured all that out on the map. Yeah, we just need to get our distance, a little bit choppy out. Hopefully she's within range. It looks like she is. Yeah, we just need to get our speed. Front of the boat, start the clock. And stop the clock right about there. Set. Definitely a 2 torpedo job. I don't know if we're going to be able to use the rest of the torpedoes on this convoy. It might be a waste of our time, so fire away.
40 Sekunden bis Torpedoeinschlag.
There's 2 big blows to her and a raging fire on board. Hopefully that's going to be enough. Yeah, she's devastated. She's down and out. That's not a bad result for us. So after quite a substantial amount of time at sea there, we've managed to come back to port. Pretty good haul, I would say, for that episode. Got a few guys here who are stepping up a little bit, getting some medals, good to see it. It's got the German Cross of Gold, it's a pretty sweet looking medal. Did we get anything? No, we're still a little bit away off getting our next medal. There we go, completed Arctic convoys. That's cool. And they've just added another 300,000 to it. Okay, let's go through what we've been dealing with out here. So sunk quite a few. Made newspaper. Pretty happy with that. We pretty much did take down the best part of 2 whole convoys, so I'd say we should be on the paper for that just in itself. So here's our little mission summary. Sunk about nearly 60,000 tons. That's quite a decent record. Sunk a heap of ships. Look at that list of ships. That's impressive. And there's all the radio messages with BDU. I'm sure none of you want to read it, but if you do, pause the video and have a little look at that for yourselves. Well, there we go. That's all for this week. Thank you for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Like and subscribe, and we'll be back out in U-606 again, no doubt. I don't know if we're going to be able to top that episode though. We did pretty much sink everything and used everything that we had to do it, so not too bad. But I shall see you in the next episode.